Discard a random card.
So we're here for round
four. Yeah, we
GameSwap
got
Mason.
we got Dark Temur Tower versus Esper God Pharaoh's Gift. One deck and one brew, basically.
Yeah, we've seen both of these players on camera already today, so we do have a good list of and a good thought about what is going on with these two decks. And Meadows, which deck would you like to be sitting with in this matchup?
That's a tough one, honestly. So it's like most of Mario's removal doesn't really line up that well against John. It kind of does, kind of doesn't.
Yeah, so from my experience playing control decks with against this God Pharaoh's Gift deck, is it generally does favor the God Pharaoh's Gift. The really important card that Mario has in his hand is a Braid.
Yes,
and this is very important in this matchup. It also depends if he's able to keep Gate to the Afterlife off the table. And this is another matchup where it's actually going to be really important to know if Mario has any sweepers in his deck.
Yeah. I don't think there's any main board.
Okay. The really normal way that John is actually going to win this is probably just by playing
Creature
1/2s, 2/1s, and going face.
Yep. And maybe Hardcast and Angel Intervention.
Yeah, we'll see how that works for him. See, sometimes double white can actually be pretty hard for this deck to assemble, but it does look like he's got another Concealed Courtyard in hand. And
so it should be really no problem.
Yeah, Mario has... It doesn't look like he has a copy of Disallow in his hand yet. He does have that Braid. He has a Commit to Memory, a couple lands, and has one of his win conditions in Metallurgic Summonings.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Now, it looks like that might get taken here by a Kitesail Freebooter. We're going to see what happens. Mario might abrade that in response, which it does look like is going to happen. But honestly, if I'm John, I'm very happy with that exchange because abrade is a really important card in this matchup. And right now, besides that Commit to Memory, Mario does not have a good way to answer God Pharaoh's Gift.
No, he doesn't. Like,
so it does look like right now he's just going to slam this Metallurgic Summoning and hope to ride that to victory. And honestly, I don't really know how John deals with this. I don't know if he runs any copies of Cast Out in his main deck.
I don't think so. But if Stream Morning could you pull up Metallurgic Summons for me? I forget what it does, honestly.
Yeah, so whenever you cast a non-creature spell, he is going to create a XX artifact creature token, where X is that spell's converted mana cost.
All right, and how many freebooters is this for John? 3 or 2?
I believe that is the 3rd.
Holy crap.
So yeah, that is a very good card in the matchup. And then also in Metallurgic Summon, you pay 5 mana and exile it, and you can return all instant sorcery cards from your graveyard to your hand if you control 6 or more artifacts.
That's his value.
Yeah, so it's instant sorcery, not just non-creature spells.
All right.
So yeah, this is a card we don't see too often in these control decks. Most people opting for cards like Torrential Gearhulk, which Mario does have in his deck. I think this is just like one of those threats that
it's hard to deal with.
It's hard to deal with, especially game 1 for all these mid-range decks. So we're going to see a removal spell kill this Kitesail Freebooter, get Mario his commit back, and he gets a 2/2, which thankfully enough can trade with that Champion of Wits.
Is this going to be 4th Freebooter?
No, it looks like a Walking Ballista.
All right. I was going to be very...
Yeah.
If this was the 4th Freebooter, I might have
That would be pretty gross.
I think I would not be happy if I was Mario.
I was not. But you see, John's hand right now is a good card in the matchup in the form of Scarab God.
And a
not great card in the matchup in form of Hostage Taker.
Hostage Taker normally a very good card in most matchups, but
yeah, but these control decks not great. The only real targets they have are Torrential Gearhulk and Scarab God, but you probably won't have enough mana to play Hostage Taker and cast whatever you take with it, and that lets Mario cast a removal spell. But what Hostage Taker is actually going to do right now is it's actually just a 4-mana 2/3 that kills one of these tokens.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah, so it's probably not going to be too relevant, but it does give John a way to deal with maybe a 4/4 that's created off this commit to memory if that gets cast. And if Mario keeps drawing lands, then maybe he doesn't actually find a good way to close out this game.
Yeah. Or like, one thing I like about commit to memory is able to do the memory part instant speed with Gearhulk.
Yeah, that is something that most people don't understand how that interaction works. It does look like he has a Gearhulk in hand. So it looks like he's going to cast Torrential Gearhulk on, my guess would be Harness Lightning. So I don't think he maybe he has like an Essence Scatter. Oh, it looks like a Braid. To destroy, using the Shatter mode on the
Walking
Ballista. I don't know how much I like using a Braid over the Harness Lightning.
Well, I kind of like the Braid because if Mario used the Harness Lightning, there's a way that John, like, all the energy would be negated if Mario cast that, because he can just like ping the Champion Wits if he charted Champion Wits, or
That's true.
Or he can just like use a Walk Ballista's ping ability to just kill one of the tokens.
Yeah. There's the argument for using the Harness Lightning over the Braid is that leaves you in a Braid in your graveyard for a future Gearhulk to be able to destroy a Gate or a Godpharaoh's Gift.
Yeah, I think it's just situational based.
And yeah, well, right now, besides that commit to memory, which isn't a permanent answer, he doesn't have a good way to deal with one of those.
Yeah, because Mario's hands is like Essence Scatter commit.
Yeah, and another thing that he needs to find is probably a copy of Disallow, because that is one of the things that another way that John can come back in this game is by eternalizing a Champion of Wits and getting to basically draw 2 cards.
Yeah,
the best 2 out of 4 cards that he sees, and Disallow can stop the Eternalize ability.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things to do with Disallow is Disallow and Internalize. So we can see Hostage Taker being played here, and maybe he takes the token.
He could take the token, and
because like John does know Mario has a commit in hand.
Yeah, he knows about the commit to memory, and he does know about the. I don't think he knows about the Essence Scatter. To be clear, just for the people listening, Gearhulk actually can cast the memory side of commit to memory. I don't know exactly how it works in the rules, but because the commit is an instant, the Gearhulk sees that, and then when you go to cast the card itself, it's asking you, because you're casting it from your graveyard, the game will ask you which side do you want to cast, and you can choose memory. If you want a specific rules explanation, I would
not ask us.
Yeah, I would probably go to Gatherer and find that, or ask your local judge. But a really good play that we see here for John is that he is able to sneak through this copy of Scarab God, and that is probably going to force Mario to use this copy of Commit to Memory to put that second from the top on John Douglas's deck, which we see him fire off here. And now he does get a 4/4 out of the deal, which is pretty nice.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. So now, now John does have the impending threat of the Scarab God, right?
Yeah, well, Mario does have a copy of Essence Scatter in hand, so that's not something that he's probably going to be too worried about.
But, like, John now has, like, this threat of Hostage Taker?
That's true. He can... Oh, he's got a Seeker's Squire,
and that's
which is going to reveal that Gear... It's not going to draw the Gearhulk. It's going to reveal it, and it's going to be his choice whether he wants it on top.
And I think he would.
Yeah, I would too.
Now, I think John might just go Hostage Taker right here.
Yeah, I actually really like playing Hostage Taker here because Mario only has one card in hand that you don't know about. Actually, only has one card in hand. And that's going to force out the Essence Scatter. Otherwise, that's just going to take his Gearhulk, and he's not going to have any answer to it. And so now Mario is Hellbent, and they're both Hellbent, but John is drawing a Scarab God. Yeah. And we all know what Scarab God does on empty boards.
Yeah, and, like, John has a plethora of creatures in his graveyard by now. He has, like, so many freebooters.
Yeah, so Mario is going to be looking for some kind of counter spell, or he's going to be...
He might Memory?
He could Memory here. He only has 7 lands in play, so what that's not going to work out too well for him because John is going to get the first crack at having all his mana to use all those cards.
Now John's double blocking here.
Yeah, he's double block. I like that play because, and then I really like this how Mario's ordering the blockers here. He's going to I would kill the Secret Squire personally so that champion doesn't get in the graveyard, but it looks like Mario is going to choose to kill the champion, and so we'll see if Mario decides to cast Memory from his graveyard, which
it seems like it.
I think he might have to just because
one of those Botanical Sanctums is...
Yeah.
Hey, Stream Armor, isn't one of those Botanical Sanctums tapped?
Yeah, he should have one more land tapped.
Yeah.
Okay. Just want to make sure that was fixed.
Yeah.
That 2 mana is actually a very large difference.
Because, it represents Essence Scatter.
Essence Scatter, yeah. So, Mario is going to get a 6/6 here, which is nice. And I think this is the correct play because he does not have a good way of dealing with a Resolved Scarab God right now. And so, it's not an ideal play, but is something that he's probably just going to have to do just to deal with that Scarab God proactively. And I mean, a 6/6 does look pretty good against all these 4/4s that John Douglas is going to try to make with Gate to the Afterlife and potentially another Scarab God if he draws one. And so we'll see.
I mean, John probably has Fatal Pushes in his deck. I forget.
Most of these lists are running some number of Fatal Pushes, and so we're gonna see they're all gonna draw. Both gonna draw 7 cards, and you can see Fatal Push in there, which is actually really good. He's
and he can still do it on.
He can still do it on Mario's end step. You're right. Which we're gonna see here.
Yep.
And now
we saw that coming.
Yeah, John just gets to untap with Free Reign.
Yeah,
with all his mana. Mario is tapped out, and so if he can resolve a gate here, if he, which I don't know how many creatures he has in his graveyard because that's off screen.
Because
yeah, it was just memory. I can't. Okay,
you're fine. I forgive you.
But yeah, he's gonna get to resolve, and it doesn't look like he has any of his. He drew any of his big haymakers that are really gonna punish Mario here for tapping out and casting this memory. So this is something that I often see when people have to hard cast commit to memory on their turn is that they leave this one turn where they can't do anything, but if they don't get punished for doing that, they're probably going to end up very far ahead.
Yeah. And I think John's just trying to make sure he can punish Mario somehow about this situation, and playing the Gift to Afterlife.
Yeah, and commit to memory which I didn't realize, had a weird effect here where it did get rid of John Douglas's graveyard. So this Gate to the Afterlife is going to take a few turns to turn back on, and John had a Champion of Wits in his graveyard that he is no longer going to be able to eternalize, which honestly probably just would have been a better play than just playing out this 2/1 and a 1/1 here, along with the Gate. So
I don't know, with the additional loot ability of the Gate, he might be able to chug through his deck a lot faster if he did
That's true, yeah. He hasn't seen anything like a Minister Inquiries yet, so we'll see what Mario is able to do with his turn here. It looks like he's drawn some more removal spells. He drew an Essence Scatter, and I think he has at least one more copy of Torrential Gearhulk in his hand. And
how many tokens does Mario have?
He has 3 2/2s from an Essence Scatter.
No, I meant in total, in his box.
Oh, I think those are the stores.
Really?
I think so.
Alright, I'm not 100% sure.
I mean, if you're going to play Metallurgic Summoning, you better come up with all of these. You better come prepared with these.
I mean, if I did, I'd just use Pokemon cards.
Yeah, it's because you always use Pokemon cards.
Well, they're so generic, you can use them for anything.
That's true.
Now,
so yeah, we're going to see this.
It seems like... Did John forget the Gate of Afterlife trigger on his, dude? I couldn't tell if he forgot it or not.
I can't tell at all. It looks like he's doing it right now, so I'm guessing he did. I'm guessing he did it.
Or we just didn't notice and he did it because...
That's my guess. John is someone who does not normally forget his triggers like that.
Yeah.
So we actually have seen that Metallurgic Summoning is doing a lot of work this game. It's created a lot of multiple bodies. It has forced John to use, albeit probably a dead card in Fatal Push, but still it has gotten to a point where the tokens are trading with John's creatures, and he has had to spend mana.
Now, the one thing about Mario over here, like, he does not have a way to actually deal with the resolved gate, Godfarer's gift. That card.
Correct, but I know he has at least a Gearhulk in his hand. What else does he have? He has a Glimmer of Genius, it looks like.
He has an Essence Scatter.
He has an Essence Scatter to counter this Hostage Taker, which he's probably going to snap to here. I don't think there's any kind of Everworld where you want to. At this point, especially with this Metallurgic of Summoning in play, you just want to cast your spells as proactively as you can because you have all of these things. And honestly, if I was Mario, I would just cast Glimmer of Genius here, try to find some kind of removal spell, and you probably just have lethal on the crackback. You can block. You don't have exactly lethal
because he's going to get 6 through. If the disallow is huge because
this game is, I believe, locked up for Mario. I
don't think it's locked up.
It's gonna take a couple turns.
I don't think it's going to take a couple turns when Mario actually starts to win. Look at his
board. No, I see the board, but so if he attacks here, he forces at least 2 chump blocks.
Yep.
Or he has to block at least 2 of the 2/2s. And I don't think John's gonna have a way to get back to deal 11 on the crackback, and so without involving something with Gate to the, Godfarer's Gift. So we can activate that Gate to the Afterlife, but Mario does have the disallow that he drew off that Glimmer of Genius to counter that ability.
Yeah.
Oh, actually we're going to see Vrasa's Contempt here, which is going to force the chump block with both of these servos, and then John is probably going to go activate Gate to the Afterlife. That's going to get disallowed, and then he's going to play another Gate to the Afterlife, and that's going to get Supreme Willed. Even if he can pay for it, he won't be able to activate it. It's not going to do anything.
Yeah, I think this game's wrapped up.
I believe we're going to see Mario Cribari taking this game over John Douglas to go 1-0 on the match. We're going to see John probably try to get a Godfarer's Gift resolved, and once he realizes he can't, he will probably scoop him up.
Yeah,
and we'll move on to game 2.
The Vigilance Flying Angel Invention might have been able to do something.
Well, the Angel Invention was exiled.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. When you're right, you're right.
Yeah, Scarab God's going to get... Scarab God's just going to resolve?
Oh, because he can just disallow any triggers?
Yeah, that's true. So he's just going to... He's going to go for the activation. That's going to get disallowed. I would honestly have just cast Supreme Will. He pays 3, disallow. I mean, don't... This is kind of a slow roll here from Mario, because he could have just disallowed. He also, I think, just wins through both of those creatures. So I would have just cast disallow, show John that there's no way you're actually going to be able to get through this.
Yeah, Mario's got this.
Yeah.
Because, like,
there's no way. The most he can do is animate, get a Hostage Taker, block the Gearhulk, block.
So he gets a Hostage Taker,
exile one of the 4 Force Beasts, he'll take Stick. So yeah, it's going to be game 1 going to Mario Cribari on Dark Temur Tower over John Douglas on Esper GPG.
GPG. That's so fun to say.
That's what people have been abbreviating it on. But actually, recently I've been looking on MTG Goldfish a lot just to look at all the deck list results, and they'll post the lists as just white, blue, black.
All right.
And like half the time you look at that, it's either tokens or Godfarer's Gift, and it's really annoying. So if we think about these players' sideboards, what would you be looking to bring in if you had, knowing we don't know exactly the makeup of these players' sideboards, but what would you be thinking about?
Okay, maybe that one new relic card?
Where
you scry one when it comes in?
Sentinel Totem, I believe is the name of that card.
Yeah. I don't know if that's that might be played in Standard, right?
Yeah. Oh, actually, I remember now. I actually have looked at Mario's sideboard, and I don't think he has any dedicated graveyard hate.
Yeah, I think, like... I mean, he has Locust God and Scarab God.
Yeah, he does have those. So I definitely think he wants to bring in Scarab Gods if he has, says he has them.
I'm a huge fan of Locust God personally.
I like it more now that Grasp of Darkness is out of the format.
Yeah.
But I think Locust God suffers from all the incidental hate that is coming because of Scarab God.
I can see that.
Because it still is going to get died of Vraska's Contempt, and it actually doesn't do that much when you play it. You have to untap with it.
Yeah, I think I'm just really biased with the card, honestly.
Yeah, you are biased to anything that says blue, has blue and red in its cost and says draw cards.
I mean, I'm pretty sure when Hour of Devastation came out, I was like so hyped on that card.
On the Locust God or the actual card Hour of Devastation?
Both.
The same. Both you and I play on the weekend where the Open came to Cincy for that standard.
Yeah.
We both did very well with blue-red control.
Yeah,
you
I top 64 at the Open with blue-red control, and you top 2 the standard.
Yeah,
classic.
I ended up in the finals losing to Esper vehicles.
Yeah, and I remember like that morning I was helping you out by writing your deck list while you.
Yeah, I had to go to the bathroom like 2 minutes before the players meeting happened.
I was like,
I spent way too much time trying to build the deck, but hey, everything worked out for me in the end.
Yeah.
And
the only thing I disagreed with you the entire tournament was you not playing Locust God. I'm pretty sure.
I didn't need it.
I mean, you're probably right, but I just like that card. Okay.
Yeah. So looking at what these players are probably going to board in, I would expect both parties to be boarding in
negates.
Spell
Pierce, maybe.
I don't think Mario has Spell Pierce. I could see Mario bringing them some copies of Duress. Like, I could see both players bringing Duress if they have them. I just know Mario does.
Yeah. I can see John maybe bringing in the 4th Bootkeeper or whatever.
Kitesail Freebooter?
Yeah, Freebooter.
If it's not in his deck already, yeah.
I mean, he saw 3 game 1. That was nutty.
Yeah, I mean, it's still very good, but with all the cheap reaction Mario has,
maybe
they do get a little worse.
Yeah, maybe John just might go a little bit bigger in his deck.
Yeah, that's what I would expect to see more copies of cards like the Scarab God, just more threats.
Maybe like
and then Duresses and Negates to be able to fight through counter magic.
Yeah. Maybe a Liliana's Death Magistry.
I could see that, but the Godfarer's Gift isn't really a reanimator deck. Liliana's Death's Majesty fits in more things like it fits with Scarab God. It fits more with things like Noxious Gearhulk, Razaketh.
All right, no,
things like that.
That's fair. I just maybe just like Planeswalker to help deal with a control deck.
I could see that. If you were looking for that, actually, there's not that many good
like in the
Esper Planeswalkers.
I mean, you have like there's no Elspeth Sun's Champion anymore.
I wish there was.
Oh my god, that look you gave me.
That card.
Yeah, getting to the trials is like...
I can see Gideon's actually going to be kind of hard to deal with, but I don't think that's going to be in his board. I think right now he's just going to be trying to execute his game plan and fight through it with Duress, Negate, and stuff like that. And you can see he has a copy of Godfarer's Gift still in hand.
Which is fine.
Yeah, card's still very good. And... we're going to look at Mario's hand, and you still see that copy of Metallurgic Summonings.
Yeah, that card put in so much work last game.
Yeah, you can see what I believe is a Harness Lightning. And it looks just like a couple lands.
Is that Locust God or a Scarab God?
I think that's a Scarab God.
Yeah. Also, one thing I like about Locust God, like, it improved the black-green matchup so much.
I actually disagree. Because that thing just died to Grasp so often.
Well, they took it out.
Not against me.
Oh,
I think you're playing against bad black green players. Anyway, that was then. This is now, and right now what we got happening is a Minister of Inquiry's activation.
I don't think that's going to be disallowed.
No.
I mean...
No, there's no way that is going to be disallowed. And you're going to see that John Douglas is...
swinging for 2.
And he's actually filling up his graveyard quite nicely here. He got that Champion of Wits in through any kind of Censor or Essence Scatter, which is something that's really good in this matchup.
Yeah.
And then you're going to see a a Seeker Squire come in here, and it's going to draw him a Concealed Courtyard, which he's going to play. And actually, a card that came out of the sideboard for John Douglas is a copy of Dream Stealer.
Oh, I know that card. It's the basically the black Eternalized rare.
Yeah, so
what it does is when it deals damage to a player, they discard that much damage. They discard that many cards. How much?
Yeah,
damage
and you're gonna see Mario take a look at that. Maybe we can do that for the people at home right now.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with this card because I remember at the Open, a Black Green Energy player, played this against me.
That
Full
was
play set.
Both Black Green players I played against in the Classic played that card too.
Was one of them named Zane?
I don't remember names
That's fair.
at all. So yeah, we're gonna see, and this is what I was talking about earlier in game one. Like, this is honestly, that's probably the best way for him to win this matchup is just small creature beats that Mario doesn't want to spend removal spells on. And if we're gonna get to a point where Mario is going to be forced to cast things like Harness Lightning on
a 1/2.
On a 1/2, right, like right now, or a 2/1, and that's going to force him to do it in combat, and then John is going to have these opportunities to resolve cards such as Godfarer's Gift, Scarab God, Gate to the Afterlife.
Yeah. Like, what does Mario know about Grey Ogre?
I don't know.
I mean,
I'm not sure what I know about Grey Ogre.
I remember one time I got beat down by one in Modern.
That's true.
It was.
I could see that.
It was
happening.
a Semi-Spirit Guide.
Oh. Yeah.
It was the Blood Moon Mirror.
Yeah, I don't want to hear anything about that. That sounds horrible.
It was.
So yeah, and yeah, that's just what I was saying. Like, Mario does not want to tap out and let John resolve something like
John
Scarab God, Gate to the Afterlife,
Eternalize, Dream Stealer.
Yeah, but he does not have Disallow in hand, and he is going to be forced to
Glimmer.
He's going to Glimmer, but he's going to have to
find an answer to this Dream Stealer.
Oh, when he saw Disallow off the Glimmer, that's too late, and I think he has to bottom both of these because I don't think he has a way to beat Dream Stealer. If that Dream Stealer hits, it's going to be game over.
I mean, so what Mario could do, this is not very good at all what I'm about to suggest. He could take the hit but disallow the trigger. It's not good, but
I mean, you're right. It's not good, but
sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, I don't think it's a winning line though. I think the best chance he has of winning is going to be trying to find an answer, and I believe he just found a Vraska's Contempt off the top, which is not great, but it is an answer.
And like John just has another Dream Stealer in the graveyard too.
Yeah, so yeah, this is a card that from the Esper deck that has really it changes how this matchup plays out, because then you have this just 4/4 that
you had
almost mind twists them.
Yeah, like
when it hits. But also, what's going to happen here is Mario is going to tap out almost, get rid of that, and then John just has the ability to play Godfarer's Gift
or eternalize
the other one. And then we're in this same spot. And I actually do believe Mario has a copy of Slice and Twain in hand.
What's that do?
It's 2 white, or 2 green. Destroy target artifact or enchantment and draw a card. And is instant speed. Yeah, we're going to see the gate here for John. And he is going to play another really good card in this matchup. Going to be search for his Kanta.
Yep.
And that's going to let him keep finding either cards to answer what Mario's doing, or just more gates, more gifts.
Yeah, John's just so far ahead in this matchup right now.
Yeah, and he still has to, and even if John just keeps answering these big threats like Eternalized Dream Stealers or gates, he's still getting beaten down for 4 a turn by 2 1/2s and 2/1.
Yep, good old Snap. It's like Snapcaster Beast all over again.
Yeah, I guess.
Kind of. But yeah, like Mario's is in a jam right here.
Yeah, and you're also going to see that there's again the copy of Metallurgic Summoning in Mario's hand, and he has not had an opportunity at all this game to resolve a 5-mana enchantment that doesn't impact the board and just really does nothing. Yeah. And so we're probably going to see in the main phase here, Mario's going to Slice and Twain this Godfarer's Gift, making sure he plays double green for it. You need to draw a card from that. Oh, and we see
Oh!
the gate out of, and that is not lethal yet, but that's gonna get back a Dream Stealer.
Oh.
And Mario's just gonna have to discard his entire hand, and yeah, that's just gonna be game. There's no way he's coming back from this.
Like, I don't think Mario has an Hour of Devastation, but
Even if he did, he casts that, and then just the gate, the Godfarer's Gift gets back like an Angel Invention, and just kills him.
yeah.
So yeah, I believe this is going to be game 2 going to John Douglas, and we get to go with exciting game 3.
Yeah, Dream Stealer is showing his work against
Yeah,
Control decks.
Dream Stealer is really showing. Oh, Mario's gonna.
I mean, play 2 is out.
Yeah,
you know?
no, you do it all the way. Don't concede.
So Mario took a bunch.
That's an out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't matter really.
Yeah, they're just going to they're skewing up the cards, going to game 3, and yeah. So now that Mario has seen,
the negate.
well, I think he could have expected. Now that he's seen Dream Stealer might be not something that's was on his radar. We'll see if he has any copies of Magma Spray in his deck. That's something that if they were in his board before, I would have boarded them in personally. As if I was on Mario's side, I don't know if he would have, and we'll see if he has any in his board. And now that at least that he's seen Dream Stealer, something that's really important to exile, because just killing it doesn't really do anything. It still leaves him with this 6-mana 4/4. That's nuts.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I don't know if I can imagine Mario having Magma Spray, because like just having a red on 1 sometimes can hurt. But then he has Fatal Push with black on 1.
Yeah,
so I really don't know. Honestly,
that's the biggest thing is that he has Fatal Push in his deck. So I'm gonna guess he doesn't have Magma Spray.
Like it's such a weird dynamic.
And I think that's a concession more to the Temur matchup, where you really need to be able to kill a Long Tusk Cub
on 2.
Well, not necessarily, but like Magma Spray, even on like turns 3 or 4, that's just not going to do it anymore.
No.
And so I think that he did make the concession towards Temur with that, but I think it's going to punish him here because he can't exile key cards like Dream Stealer or Champion of Wits. And they're going to see the sideboard duress come here for John Douglas. So we're going to see a look at Mario's hand. Oh, honestly, love those ones.
I like the art. My second, it's like maybe my second favorite duress. My first being Urza Saga.
Yeah. So here for Mario's hand, we're going to see a Fatal Push, Harness Lightning, Vraska's Contempt, Slice and Twain, a Island, and a Swamp. And the mana here does not look that good for Mario. He has 2 spells in his hand that he just can't cast. And I actually am kind of surprised that John ends up taking the Slice and Twain.
I might have been tempted to take the Harness Lightning, honestly, because if you just like wait till 3 to play your Champion of Wit, like he's gonna have a hard time answering it.
Well, I don't think the Champion of Wits is something that's really important for him
or the Dream Stealer
resolve. And looks like John is getting paid off here because now he only needs to find 1 more Great Sword. Now, if you're in Mario's seat, what that tells you from what John took is that he definitely has his plan right now is going to be to get a Godfarer's Gift.
Yeah.
Because he took the spell that Mario was very far from casting, but still answered that Godfarer's Gift. So now if you're Mario, you're going to want to try to play in a way that's going to have a gate, like be able to answer a gate to the afterlife or a Godfarer's Gift that comes down. And we're going to see, it doesn't look like Mario is going to Harness Lightning in response to the trigger. So what that probably means is he's going to save that Harness Lightning for something a little more worthwhile.
Like a Dream Stealer?
Like maybe a Dream Stealer. He just feels he can take 2 for a couple turns, and I'll agree with him here. The biggest thing, he has that Vraska's Contempt in his hand, so it's possible he just wants to use his mana while he can.
Yeah, currently uncastable on the field, but we know Mario does have the second swamp.
Yeah, we know Mario has the swamp in hand, so
completely irrelevant. It is castable.
John Douglas knows that as well.
Yeah, so I don't know if like John is just going to wait on playing his Dream Stealer, or just like try and play another freebooter if he has one.
I'm fine with playing the Dream Stealer right now because that either eats the Harness Lightning from his hand, which you're fine with because he is. Yeah, he'll still have them in the graveyard, and then if he untaps and casts Vraska's Contempt on it, that's just going to eat up Mario's entire turn, not really affecting the board that much at all. But Mario did pick up a very important card.
A Braid.
He picked up a copy of a Braid.
Now, Mario's draw has not been the best for
Yeah,
him.
no, he's just been drawing some lands. What he really needs to find is something like a Torrential Gearhulk or a Glimmer of Genius, something to get himself back in this game on a card quality level, because if John just keeps playing threats like he is here, I don't know how much Mario is really going to be able to stay in this game. Because, again, we're at the point where Mario doesn't want to use a Braid or Vraska's Contempt on these 2/1s, 2/3s, these just small, insignificant little creatures.
And this is a nice Braid target.
Yeah, if I was Mario, I would probably just abrade this right now just to use my mana.
Is that a Metallurgic Summoning? I think it is.
It might be. I did not get a great look at it. If it is, I think now is your best opportunity to cast it.
It might not be. I think it is.
I believe it is, and that's another argument for playing a Braid before, like, at the end of the turn there.
It
because,
just made, like, Mario's turn so awkward.
Yeah, what Mario is trying to do by not casting that Abrade end of turn is he's trying to get John to activate it, and then he gets to destroy a Godfarer's Gift and use up a little of John's mana, but I don't think that's really worth it. We do see a Vraska's Contempt here, exiling Champion of which is very important in this matchup.
Oh, yeah.
But, again, I don't think Mario is in a place where he can just not use his mana effectively.
Yeah.
Because what's probably going to happen here is John's going to attack, and he's going to take it, and then he has nothing he really wants to do, and there is a copy of Scarab.
Oh, that's a Supreme Will.
Okay, well, not a Metallurgic Summoning.
They look similar.
Kind of.
Yeah,
so that makes a lot more sense here from his game plan, and that is a lot better for Mario. But still, like, I feel like he's just not been using his mana that effectively here.
Yeah,
and
like Mario just has a Braid and land in hand.
He has a Braid and Fatal Push.
All right, yeah. All right, my bad. A Braid and Fatal Push. So,
yeah, so
not the best removal spells for John's creatures.
Yeah, but the creatures is not what I'd be worried about now if I was Mario. John just flips Search for Azcanta into Azcanta the Sunken Ruin, and that's going to let him just start churning things like keep finding more. Well, no, you can't get creatures.
No, I mean like you can start internalize Champion Wits because the additional land.
Yes, but he doesn't have a Champion of Wits in his graveyard. He got Vraska's Contempt.
Well,
but there is a Dream Stealer in his yard, and he very well could eternalize the Dream Stealer here. But honestly, if I'm him at this point, you know about the... Actually, don't know about any cards in his hand, but you can just keep activating Azcanta, keep finding Gates, keep finding Godfarer's Gift.
I mean, you can just keep beating him down with his Draft Shaft right here.
Mm-hmm. And again, we're just at a point where Mario's just not casting the spells in his hand because they don't really do anything. And John Douglas even just has a copy of Negate.
Yeah.
And so once he finds this enough creature in his yard to activate this Gate to the Afterlife, it's going to get abraded, and he's going to negate that abrade, and he's going to either have a Godfarer's Gift or trade that with another counterspell, which is fine. And that's still not answering this 2/3 and this 1/2 in play, and or the Search for Azcanta. And right now, just Mario does not have a good way to use his mana or get his resources that actually do anything right now in this matchup. And yeah, I just don't see how Mario gets out of the situation, because all the cards in his hand are just going to have to answer these little things, and then he's going to die to the big things, or they're going to answer the big things and he's going to die to the little things.
Yeah, so, but what Mario does have, he does have, like, double answer to this Godfarer's Gift.
Yeah, so what's probably going to happen is John's activated the Gate to the Afterlife to get the Godfarer's Gift from his graveyard. And so the Godfarer's Gift is probably in the main phase going to get abraded, but then that's going to get negated.
But then it's going to get committed.
Yeah, and then something is going to get commit. I don't know if he's going to commit the negate or if he's going to commit the Godfarer's Gift. I would lean on casting committing the Godfarer's Gift because John actually doesn't have the mana to cast it yet. And he's going to end up committing the Negate, which I don't like as much because then when you try to answer these little creatures that are beating you down with something like a Fatal Push, or if John plays a Champion of Wits and you have a Essence Scatter, then he could just negate that. And I think
like Negate's going to be the next card John draws because of the Explore.
Correct. Yeah, and
like all Mario has in hand is a Essence Scatter. Like he's just going to get beat down by these one
what
X's.
Mario really needs to draw right now, I'm assuming he boarded in, is a copy of...
Oh, he's going to Memory.
I was going to say Scarab God, but yeah, he is going to Memory here, and that's him realizing that his hand is not set up to deal with what John has going on right now, and it is going to...
Again, let John have the first chance to untap with 7 mana?
Yeah, well, the difference between the last game this happened is that Mario does have 2 mana open, so he can possibly have...
An Essence Scatter,
a Sensor, a Harness Lighting, something to be able to answer whatever John does, depending on what John decides to do. If John just plays a Scarab God and Mario has the Essence Scatter, that's going to turn this game all the way around into Mario's favor. Because then he gets to untap with all this mana, all these cards in hand, and it's going to be at a point where he only has to answer these 2 1/2s.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Now, it's really going to depend. So we are going to have Mario's main phase 2 still, or main phase 1.
I don't think that he is going to have anything he's going to want to do in his main phase. And you see, he's going to pass the turn. Let's see, he drew a copy of Negate.
But John also has a copy of Negate in his own hand.
Yeah, so... Oh, and that's going to be big. He's going to be able to take any kind of... And you honestly may just see this Negate come out.
And
but
it's going to be
John's
negated.
tapped out, and we're gonna see a Kite Sail Freebooter. And that's gonna heavily depend on what's on John's hand to see what he's gonna take. If he has a copy of Scarab God in hand, you're gonna see him take this Veracruz Contempt.
I think you just take Veracruz Contempt anyways.
It depends if you have if he has a Gate to the Afterlife or a Godfarer's Gift in hand. I think he's probably gonna end up taking Disallow.
Well, that's fair, but like the reason I like taking the Veracruz Contempt anyways, because John does have a Dream Stealer in hand. So
yeah, like I said, that's gonna just depend on what's in John's hand. I didn't get a great look. He does a champion.
Like John has a lot of good cards in this matchup in his hand.
Yeah,
currently.
and one thing, another thing for taking the Veracruz Contempt is you're gonna see now Mario's hand has no removal in it, and if John just plays like a Dream Stealer or a Champion of Wits, that's just a 2-turn clock on the board, and that's going to force... well, if he plays a Dream Stealer, it's not a 2-turn clock, but...
And I still think John has a land for turn to play. I could be wrong.
Yeah, he does. And he even has this copy of Negate up, so...
But the Disallow does make this kind of tricky. Because...
Well...
Most of, like, Mario's removal, he'll be able to cast it, then hold up Disallow as well.
Yeah, but if you look at Mario's hand, there's nothing that I think John even wants to fight over. Like, I don't think he fights over this treasure map because you know that Mario's hand just does not have any good removal in it.
Yeah, like, also, like, just the Disallow being the only counterspell Mario's hand is, like, it really makes this whole, like, John's decision process a lot easier.
Yeah. So yeah, we're going to see Mario attune with Aether here, get himself an island, and then we're going to see him pass with Disallow up, and not really a whole else going on. And like I was saying earlier, he is probably just going to die to these small creatures, which if you're going to play kind of one of these like blue-red based control decks in this data right now, I would heavily advocate for having some number of
sweepers.
Sweepers. Like Hour of Devastation is the one I prefer right now, just because those decks tend to have a lot of trouble answering Hazoret without something like Veracruz Contempt.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, but even just Supreme Will here would just clean up, not Supreme Will, Sweltering Suns here.
Would clean up this board.
Clean up this board.
And you give your Veracruz Contempt back.
Yeah, to answer the Dream Stealer. So right now, he's going to take 4. And Mario's going to have to discard a card.
Yeah, I think I think what John did really to his sideboard, he really configured to help his control matchup a lot more, because I can see that being a very bad matchup if not the sideboard not tuned correctly.
Yeah. One of the things that I think is more about just like how you need to play this Esper Godfarer's deck against control is a lot of players will just try to go for, oh yeah, turn 4 I want to get my Godfarer's Gift into play, and that's the kind of play style that the control decks want you to take so that they can just disallow your gate or disallow the gate trigger, and then they can on turn 5 like cast a Glimmer when you've expended all your resources to do this thing. John right now is just trying to play this almost Esper beatdown deck, and honestly I would not be surprised if he sideboarded out some number of like 1 or 2 gates or maybe one of the Godfarer's Gifts.
Yeah, like all he's done this game is play dudes.
Yeah,
really.
and that's all he really needs to, because
and
if
like
Mario is going to trade a 1-for-1 with Champion of Wits, which had filtered John's draws with a Sanctum Seeker that drew him a land, a Minister that milled him 3 cards and got him closer to activating a gate,
like
then he doesn't have the cards to answer something like a Godfarer's Gift or a Scarab God.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Like you notice, like John didn't even try to activate his Gate of the Afterlife to like Mario was low on cards.
So you can see Mario here scrying his upkeep, try to find a way to fight through this, but he is staring down
a
lethal damage.
Yeah.
If he does kill the Champion of Wits, then so we're being told that the card on top is a Braid, which will let him live a turn, but he's going to end up going to 2. Or he can abrade the Champion of Wits, or abrades the Freebooter, you're right, and that gets negated.
Yeah, John has negated.
And yeah, now that's just game.
Yeah.
And so that's going to be game. It's going to be match for John Douglas going up 2-1
against Dark Temur Tower.
Dark Temur Tower, and I believe he goes undefeated for the night.
Yeah, yeah, I'm pretty sure these guys already split though.
Yeah, I think this, but I think they played it out. But
yeah,
still, that's congrats to him. Good job on that.
Yep. So just a quick moment. We just like to thank you for your time for joining us here tonight. For this standard Showdown Wednesday. Here at Top Deck Productions, as a friendly reminder, if you like what you're watching and want to help out, we have a Patreon. You can donate whenever you can. Our Patreon is patreon.com/TopDeckProductions. Basically, anything that comes our way helps improve the stream quality, better casters, commentators. But yeah, Amazon Prime members, if you're not subscribed to a Twitch channel at all with Amazon Prime, you can just subscribe to a Twitch channel, but you have to do that every month.
Yeah, if you connect your Amazon Prime account with your Twitch account, you get Twitch Prime, and that gives you a free Twitch subscription to any channel you want once per month. So if you want to send that our way, it'd be very much appreciated.
Yeah, yeah, we can get better commentators instead of like us scrubs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but overall, like I said, if you like what you see, and if you can, we appreciate it. If not, just keep on watching. We like you guys here. Have a nice night. And join us tomorrow for Modern Action.